Hey, 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 I'm back. I I played Lego Fortnite, but I don't know. It didn't stick with me as much as some other games. So I thought I'd come back here, grind a bit, get some more levels, see what I could do, see what I can do to kind of get up to members levels. I also had something super weird happen, which I guess I'll explain as we play. So I've got this armor, which is sick and all, but I'm thinking to switch it up. I might do let's do some fishing and cooking. Let's switch it up a little, you know? Because now I've done like 6 or 7 streams with just grinding the attack. So we'll put that all away. We don't need that where we're going. Alright, so what do I need? An axe, feathers, fishing rod, tinderbox. Check, 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 check. And I think that should be good. I'm trying to think of where there's a good spot to fish that's near a bank, but I think the nearest one is, again, Barbarian. Oh, but maybe Drainer. Maybe Drainer. I think I'll go with Drainer. Try it out. Yeah, so when I beat the dragon. Hey, what are you doing? Come on now. When I beat the dragon, I swapped out to go play Lego Fortnite. And if anyone has watched anything of mine, it's for me, right? It's not for other people. So that's cool, right? But then I was setting up my PS5 to play Fortnite, and suddenly it was one of my streams suddenly had like 200 views on Twitch, and I'm like, who's watching? What? You know? I'm honestly still a little thrown by it, because it's kind of like, you're saying there's 200 people, give or take a couple. It wasn't over 200, but it was more than enough, right? Like, I don't know who's watching my VODs, but thank you. Like, it was weird, because I was like, I had like cracked a beer. Like, this is not something super. I know some people do it professionally and stuff, but I just what am I doing? I'm like fighting barbarians for 2 hours while I talk about how games should be better. Why did that get more than 100 views? In like a day. So I'm sitting here kind of like shocked, I'm still shocked by it. And it's weird because the VOD got all these views, but the live stream didn't, which is fine. Like, I'm not here to become like an internet sensation and all, but it's just kind of funny that like the stream I did yesterday, but in like a 24-hour period, blew up. That is my definition of it blowing up. Like that, it's so strange to me. But it's cool. But it's strange. So that happened, and I tried to figure that one out myself. And then there was a couple people leaving comments on my YouTube, which was nice. Just like saying hey, Glad there are people that still like RuneScape. A fishing rod. I have a fishing rod. Fly fishing. Oh, this is a pitiable fishing spot. I don't want that. It's nice it's close to the bank, but nah. Back to the village. Back to the village. Yeah, it was super weird. So, I guess I'm basically going to be talking into the future from now on, because apparently all my views come from people who don't watch me live, which is fine. But like, oh yeah, and because, and I'm you know, just a total novice when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? So like, I can hear the alerts in my headphones, but I don't get the graphic on my screen when someone does a thing like follows or whatever, or any of that. So I was playing, and then I got the like Scooby-Doo sound, but I didn't get to see who it was. And I tried to check my thing, and like I have all of like 10 followers, right? And I'm sure, you know, 7 of those are bots and whatnot, but I'm just like, who, you know? And I don't know who it was. It's eating at me. But that was just such a strange experience that I needed to tell you guys, because it was kind of weird, and I'm just playing RuneScape. I'm just playing RuneScape. But that was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, it was like one of my VODs that was like 2.5 hours long as well. Like, it wasn't a short one. It was a long one. So it's nice. It's cool. It's nice, because I feel like I just ramble on my streams, and then that happens, and I'm like, well, maybe other people are thinking the same things, and they're just afraid to say it, or just don't know how to say it, right? Which is, it's crazy. Like, that's crazy. I don't know. I'm on, you know, like a mix of Cloud9 and just like weirded out a bit. It's because of all my hot takes that you guys, you know, watch the VODs. I noticed that though, because when I stream Fortnite now, just like earlier, or when I played Everhood, like I definitely don't talk as much, because I actually have to be focused on what I'm doing, you know. I can't be talking about games I like or dislike or whatever, right? But here I'm kind of like, oh, got fishing level. Guess, you know, whatever. I can still talk about the day-to-day. But in those other games, you don't really get the chance to do that. Which I think, I mean, this is my psychological evaluation, you know, and I've said before, is that this is kind of for a lot of people, and I'd go as far as to include myself in that, is that it's kind of proxy friendship, right? For the hour or two, or however many that your favorite streamer is on, that you're watching them, it's like, you know, if they're playing Lethal Company and they've got their friends and they're all joking around and stuff, you're almost in it. You are like one step removed from being in that friend group. And I think for a lot of people, that's, you know, that's what you want. You want that friend group. You want that closeness, right? And this is so close. This is like a sliding door away, right? And if you really are into it, you know, you can toss bits or subs at them and be like, hey, you know, I really like what you're doing. I really think it's great. You know, do this again. This is really fun. You know, if they're having a fun stream and you feel, you know, you leave feeling good, like that's good. That's what it should be, because I worry, and I do worry. I worry that a lot of people are just chilling in their, you know, in their houses, not really interacting with each other. And what's this guy saying? I I feel like ever since the pandemic, things have just kind of been a don't talk to me, I won't talk to you kind of situation. And people have been wanting that connection, but everyone's kind of afraid to straight up ask for it. Like, hey, play games with me. Hey, I need people to play Lethal Company with. Like, I want a good group of friends. Like, it's hard. It's hard to find that, you know? I don't have it. I've got some people that play with me occasionally, but it's not like a hard and fast, we're gonna play kind of every day, you know? I think that would be really cool. I think that would be awesome if I had a solid group like that. It would be fantastic. I think that's, and I'm sure, I say that as a naive guy who doesn't have that, right? I'm sure there's negatives to it. I'm sure it's a whole thing, right? I'm sure there's, but it seems fun. It seems like a lot of fun. Anyway, I digress, because I'm just kind of riding high off of that kind of strange. I had to like look at it 6 or 7 times because I was like, what? You know, like why? Um, and then I looked at the VOD again. And this is why it took me a little bit to reset up my PS5, because I was looking at it and I was like, what, what? You know, and I'm looking at the VOD and it's like, I'm talking about, you know, AAA games versus indie games, you know, and how indie games are kind of taken over, and how I like it, and big corporations need to learn a thing or two, and I'm, you know, going off about it. Apparently, people like that a lot, which is interesting. But yeah, there's I think that says a lot about people who are just hanging out, right? We're all just hanging out, and maybe also because I'm a night owl. Like, I'm a night owl by trade. Oh, woodcutting level 13. Huzzah. I'm a night owl by trade, so I'm thinking maybe some people that watch my VODs are either, you know, they're not in the same time zone as me. Like, I'm PST. I'm supposed to be PST. But I just don't sleep because what's the point, you know? Oh, there's a mysterious old man. Yeah, that was a shock to my system. That was something. So I'm thinking, well, I've still got some quests to do here in the free world before I get members. But what I'm thinking is I might do those off stream, just because from what I remember, they're kind of dull. They're kind of like fetch quests that just are crazy all over, you know? Go here, go there. And except for the Corsair Curse, I don't remember hearing about that. So that had to be something new. Hey, it's a business guy. Sup, business guy? What do you have? An axe. Glad you like your axe. Hey, a ruby, that's not terrible. Yeah, and then, so maybe I do those quests off stream, and then that way if I'm on stream, I can kind of do more fun stuff with the members when I get the members. Just a thought, just a thought. I'm also thinking Jedi Academy. I'm thinking of doing some streams of Jedi Academy. Everhood. So as much as I love Everhood, which is a lot, okay, I worry that like the story is kind of, it's woven in, it's very nuanced. And I didn't think about this when I streamed it the first time. It's very nuanced and like it's about reading what people reading between the lines, right? It's not what they're saying, it's why they're saying it, and you know. And I think it might be a lot to take in over a stream as opposed to playing it on your own, because there's a lot of like, oh, they said this one thing and it's important, but are you going to catch it, right? Like, why'd they say that at this time, you know? I mean, I'll just say that the thing that really kind of caught me in that stream was the VIP card. It seemed stupid because if you didn't watch the stream or the VOD, at one point you get a VIP card from one of the boss battles when you beat the boss, and it doesn't stand for very important personnel. It stands for something like ventriloquists, something puppeteers, whatever. And ventriloquist industrial puppeteering corporation, yeah. And I was sitting here and I'm like, okay, I know what that means, but if you're not paying attention and you miss that, and I can't focus on it because then I'll ruin it, right? But if you miss that, then later on you're not going to have a wow moment. Like, you know, the wow moments like in Undertale when you finally see Sans, you know? You're not going to have that, whoa, this was actually laid out the entire game and I just didn't catch on. Like, those are some good, that's classic good gaming, right? But I kind of feel like those are moments that you have to stumble onto yourself and can't be kind of walked handheld through. Does that make sense? Because there's like yeah, I mean, I could say that there's stuff related to that, but like, do you want that? Clue nest? Why'd I get a clue nest? How is that different than a... What? You open and throw away the tiny nest and find a clue scroll. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to do this clue scroll. But yeah, it's kind of like Undertale. It would be the equivalent of Undertale if someone's saying like, "Hey, wonder what those dots between the love letters mean, huh? Have you ever thought about that? Maybe we should." But I'm not going to tell you. But maybe you should wonder what they mean. Hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, that would suck, right? That would suck if someone blew that up for you. And that's kind of what Evertale. I feel like either I linger on it and don't say anything and let people be like, why is he lingering on it? And draw attention to it that way. Or I say something and draw attention to it that way. And either way, I'm kind of, hinting at the fact that this is going to be a very important thing later, And I don't want to do that because it's breaking the rhythm of the game, So yeah, we'll see if I stream that again, because I don't know. It's Everhood is a near and dear game of mine. It's very near and dear to me. So for it to, I want to do it justice, right? By my standards, and if that means just talking about how you should go play it and not streaming it, then that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want me to ruin it and then you go play it and then you'd be like, well, it would have been cool if you hadn't spoiled it for me. Like, I don't want that. You don't want that. I don't want that. So that's not happening. So I think Everhood is going to be shelved as far as streams. I got Tob pet 3 times. There's all this lingo in this game that I really don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I think I'll still go with the games that are listed on my profile. And if someone has other ideas for stuff, things that kind of, that need a lot of CPU power, I'm not there right now. So that's why I streamed Fortnite off my PlayStation and not my laptop. But in days, in weeks, in months to come, I will have that option more available as I, upgrade my settings, as I upgrade my life and get a new PC, hopefully. And I can show you guys some newer, cooler games. Because what I like to do, and I say this like, I've been streaming before, but I haven't. This is just kind of what I like to do with my friends, is I like to find the games that are kind of strange and out there that I know they'd like, but games that you probably haven't heard of. And then be like, hey, come play this. And they'll be like, why? Like for Everhood, like, just play it. Just play it, thank me later. Like, I had a friend I introduced to Everhood and Amori, and they're like, well, why? It looks like, it's a mid-game at best. And I was like, play it, then come talk to me, Then we can discuss, right? And without fail, they come back for both of those games. Same friend, and they're just like, wow, you have, like, god tier reads in games in terms of, games that I should, play on my own. That being said, I know I'm not, I'm not gonna have perfect reads for everyone in chat. What I like in games might not be what you like, but might not be what everyone else likes. I just happen to know what this friend likes, and so I recommend those games for him. But regardless, for the portion of anyone who, for their sake, anyone who watches this VOD, I'm not going to spoil Omori or Everhood. I'm just going to say those are games that if you haven't played them, go play them. If you really want like a good story, a good story that you can sink your teeth into, those are both excellent for that. If you want a more unique game, a game I really like that's kind of all over the map, like it jumps you from text-based gameplay to first-person shooter to, depending on the route you go, to like Legend of Zelda style play. It's called No Game Wrong Dimension, and it's so funny. You could probably beat it in like one sitting. Oh, there's the ping pong guy, or the pinball guys. But yeah, it's so cool that there's so many of these games that you can just kind of, you know, you can recommend ones that I've never heard of, and I can recommend ones you've never heard of, right? I love how expansive the gaming world has become. I did barb fishing to 99. A lot of these guys, I get the experience from because of, like I said before, if I'm gonna do something, we might as well do it full out. Like there's a perma burning fire here now, which sucks, and I hate it. I like to make my own fire because that gives you wood cutting experience, fire making experience, and then you're cooking the fish. That's cooking experience, and you're fishing. So it's 4 skills, right? Whereas look at all the people that are just dropping their stuff and they're just doing fishing. Only fishing. They've got the single mindset. I think I might switch it up and do some mining though, because my fishing is alright. It's not, I mean, it's level, what is it? My fishing is 52 and my cooking's 51, yeah. So I feel like I should do mining and smithing instead, because that might be easier to level and more worth my time. Because I think 50 is kind of the point where being a free player, that's kind of it, you know? Like, yeah, you can keep leveling up, but everything else you're gonna find is a members item, right? Like, I can't go fish for the weird legendary Kraken because, you know, it's in the members world. I can have the level to do it, but I can't get there. So maybe I'll focus on crafting and, or not crafting, smithing and mining after this round, after getting all these guys done. Just to switch it up too, because I mean, try and round out my character now that I've kind of gotten their combative abilities as far as I can get them. So what I'll do is I'll go to this bank, make sure I have the I might not have a pickaxe because I might have lost it in the fight against... Where am I going? The first fight against the dragon. Oh. I don't know why there's people that just hang out outside the Grand Exchange, like in between the bank and the Grand Exchange. What are you doing? You know? What's going on here, guys? Alright. Wow, there's no fires or anything here. Alright, so do I need a certain mining level to use picks? Yes. So I can only go up to an adamant pickaxe, which I definitely died with. So let's get another one. Pick. I have no idea what level the gold picks are, or why, or any of that. No, that's not enough. Fine. Maybe we'll crank it up. I am not a patient man. Thank you. Alright, so good place for this is Al-Kharid, which actually I can just teleport to Lumbridge, and then it's the desert area. That's just right by there, which is good. I guess I could level up magic too, but again, that's 57, and I mean, everything down here is kind of members only for the most part. It's sad to see so many bots on here. On any game. So many games have had just like an influx of botting. Thank you, friend. Yeah, there's been so many bots. It's just kind of sad. I don't even know what can I mine right now. What's my go-to mining? Iron, coal. Okay, so whichever of those I see first, I guess. There's a big like quarry up ahead. There we go. It has scorpions, but I feel like they're not going to bother me. At my level. At my level. Knock on, you know, little flex. Oh. Coal. This one's tough because, I mean, this guy... Alright, stop mining. Alright, let's just, we'll do iron then, because he's doing coal and he clearly has a higher level. Thing is, if you're not the one to win, like if you don't get the ore first, your animation will still go on for way too long afterwards. Like, it won't realize that you've lost. I'm hoping we get some mithril. Adamantium over there. This is a good music change from the constant barbarian village that we had going for like all the streams up till now. There's a lot of irons. Oh, see, there's a lot of iron here. I don't even think my smelting is high enough to do anything with steel anyway, so there's no point in getting the coal yet. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of, actually, I did a purge the other day. I was looking through my Steam library and I was like, how many of these games, you know, even the installed ones, do I really play? Like, really, you know? And I did a binge. I did a, you know, what games are worth your limited space, right? And I ended up taking out a good chunk of them. I'd say I am down to like 30% of what I had. Just because, you know, games they've got, you know, their time, right? And some games, you know, they're really fun with, you know, your friends or so, and then those friends stop playing, or hypothetical pandemic comes to a conclusion and everyone doesn't want to play Among Us anymore. In theory. And then you're kind of like, oh, well, what do I do? I think I might just smelt these right now and then take them to the bank because it's on the way. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, because, you know, I tried to get back into Among Us, but if you don't do it with, like, people you know, it's not as good with randos. It's just not. I want it to be. I want it to be. But it's not. And it would be so good to play it with, like, people who enjoy playing it. Oh. You can now make iron maces, and members can make iron splits. Spits. Why was that so hard to say? I have a bunch of games like that, though. They're kind of like... They would be good with friends, or they were good with friends. I still have Fall Guys, because I do have a friend who still plays that. And surprisingly, that game's kind of held up. I can't handle it for very long at a time. But, I definitely still enjoy it, and it's got custom maps now, and like it does like themed maps for holidays and stuff. Very cool. But I definitely, yeah, they've definitely limited the lobbies. Like, they used to be 60 people per lobby, and they brought that right down to 40. Like, they acknowledged that they're not talk of the town anymore. Oh, there is no one in this bank. This is weird. What's another one? Project Winter is really fun. If you've never played it, it's another good one to do with friends. It's like same thing, social deduction, except so the premise is that you're all out lost in the wherever, in somewhere in the mountains, whatever, and it's winter, right? You're in a log cabin, and you need to either reboot the power station, to call for help, or you know, you got different objectives, and it's top down, and everyone has like a different role. So it's kind of like everyone has, like, there's the traders who have their own, that's their thing, being the trader, but every one of the crew members, you know, has their own thing where they could either heal someone, or they can see the other roles, or you know, something to keep it entertaining, right? And I think that one's really fun because, like, if you have to do something like put X amount of circuit boards into this thing to power the generator, and then suddenly, you know, those same circuit boards that you just put in went missing while your friend is standing there, and you're like, huh, maybe I know who the trader is. And you're fighting the clock because it's, you know, it's they put a cap on it, so if it's you only have half an hour or so to get out, otherwise you're gonna get mega blizzard or something. And they have random events where suddenly you can't see who anyone is, or you know, you can't go into the log cabin, so you get colder, and you have to do things like keep up your hunger and your warmth. It's good. It's like Among Us, but with more depth. And there's different maps you can play on, and you know, it's well done. I like it. But again, it's good for you and 7 of your closest friends, right? There are lobbies that play it, but again, you're really taking a risk, you know? And that is one thing that's like a little frustrating. That even goes to like Lethal Company and stuff, where you could see this fun game, and you could see people, you know, playing it on streams and stuff. Your favorite streamers are playing it, you know, but you've got to have, you know, at least 4 people to play together, right? You need at least 3 other people who are there willing to play with you in the moment. Hey. And I know for me that's hard, right? Like for anyone, I assume that's hard, because where are you going to find your, like, people have stuff to do aside from just gaming, I'm afraid, right? I hate to say that. It's like, oh, maybe you got to work, maybe you got family commitments, maybe, you know, whatever your thing is, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but it's true. And so getting enough people to play these kind of games that are coming out, which, I mean, Among Us really broke the ground for. And this whole genre has just been like filling up the world ever since. But suddenly when everyone has to go back to the office and can't work from home, it's like, oh, we can't do Among Us every day anymore to keep ourselves occupied during this 2-week lockdown that lasted 2 years. You know, it's it's tough. So yeah, I purged a lot of those games. But they are fun. They are fun. I think I've got to kind of get back into the solo world. You know, games that are fun, that I don't need to rely on other people for my fun, right? Because you know what, like, I'm on Steam, and my friends could see me, and they could be like, hey, let's play Lethal Company. Fantastic. But if they don't want to, then I can still be enjoying my time. I'm not sitting there twiddling my thumbs, right, waiting for people to come online to play. Which is, you know, That's tough because I've never been really a Dark Souls kind of guy, and I know that whole franchise and theme, like genre, has kind of taken a big chunk of the one-player games, right? Like recently you had Lies of P, which looked like a really good game, and Elden Ring looked amazing, right? But we're talking, if you get into those games, you are sinking countless hours, and it's tough because I try and draw the line sometimes between how much I game versus real life, because I know, and I said this once before, that's why I've put Tears of the Kingdom away for the time being, because I know that like I have the personality, maybe not just the personality, I am the person. I know myself, and I will want to complete all of Tears of the Kingdom now, right? And if I don't, which I managed to stop myself, then I've got it shelved, right? And when I come back to it, maybe I don't remember all the story, and that's gonna bother me, and I'm gonna have to start from square one. It's not the case this time, but that could be the thing with Elden Ring too, where if I play through part of it and then come back, I'll be like, where am I? What was I doing? What's going on? Maybe I should start from the beginning. And then it's just an endless cycle. That's why I'm kind of like, okay, well, I want to play a game that either I've played before or I know is going to not be one where I have to lose my, drop everything else, every other aspect of my life to play, Plus, I think for more intense games like that stuff, it's good to just kind of almost take a break from other things so you can really sink your teeth. It's like a good book, That's a good way of putting it. It's like a good book where you're just like, I don't want to put this book down. I want to finish this book, if I leave this book to go do other things, then I'm going to forget what the characters are plotting, and it's going to piss me off, right? That's kind of what I think. And for those people who have the memory and attention span to hang on to that, well done. Amazing. Well done. But yeah. I'll say this because I haven't said it yet, and I'm curious. If you are watching my stream, I added a widget for Pokemon, for catching Pokemon in the stream. I have no idea what it's for. But I think if you type in exclamation Pokemon, I think you get your own Pokedex. And it's I saw it in someone else's stream and it looked cool. Where random Pokemon spawned in chat and then you could catch them and add them to your Pokedex. I don't know. Seemed cool. I put it on my stream. But feel free to try that out because I'm curious. Yeah, it's crazy to think how far gaming's come in the past, 10, 15 years, right? Is it all good? Maybe. Maybe not, Are there arguments to be made that better games come out beforehand? It's funny because, depending on what your first real console was, right? As a gamer, that's kind of your go-to was the best, you know? Like, if your first console was the NES, then that was the best console, bar none. You know, you will never have a console that was better than that, because that was, imagine, you know, the joy of your childhood self, you know? Unfettered, running up to play Super Mario Brothers, you know? How could you possibly beat that joy? Right? Like, mine was a mix. Mine was, my dad loved the NES. He was a nerd, and I didn't realize it at the time. He he loved the NES. He played. So what we do, like, on Saturday mornings is we'd like watch morning cartoons, you know, and we'd play the NES, and we'd take turns on like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff. And as soon as you die, you had to give the remote to the next person. And my dad would include himself in this little rotation because he wanted to be the one who was getting farther than us, right? Which never struck me as odd until, like, you know, years later. But he was just as much into it as we were. I just didn't realize it. But yeah, I think the NES, those games, which it's funny because I would learn later in my life that specifically the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series rank among some of the most difficult games ever. Like, ever. And I believe we beat one of them. We had all of them. Hey. You can now make bronze plate bodies and iron medium helms. Nice. Just what I want for Christmas. Yeah, it was like we beat one of them, you know, and it was a wow moment, right? We only ever did it the one time because, you know, the save states back then, it was like, if you die on this level, you might get a wonky code that works half the time, but maybe not, you know, maybe you start from the beginning. And then as an adult, I find this YouTube video that's like, if you've ever played this game, it is the hardest game you'll ever play in your life. It's like, oh, well, I beat it, you know, like, I actually, on the N64, Donkey Kong 64, I remember we'd do the same thing where we'd swap out, we'd switch controllers, whatever, right? And I remember I was playing Donkey Kong 64 with my brother, and my paternal figure was making us lunch, you know, and he wasn't in the room, and he had apparently no faith in me. But as a child, I was like a gaming god. I don't think that holds true today. But as a child, I was a gaming god. And so Donkey Kong 64, we were playing it, and it was kind of like we were stuck on the last boss. And my dad was like, you'll never beat it, whatever, I'm going to go make lunch, like, take turns sucking, you losers, right? And so we were taking turns, and I'm so glad that my brother was there as like a witness, because I ended up beating the final boss once, and with my dad out of the room. And the catch is that me and my brother at the time, you know, siblings, right? We did not agree. If I said left, he'd say right, you know? It was we did not agree on anything, right? So we ran to the kitchen, and we're like, oh my goodness, he just got it. He just beat Donkey Kong. It was amazing. It was glorious. And my dad was like, nah, he didn't. There's no way. And then my brother's like, yeah, no, he totally did. And I remember the look in his eyes. The look of like being usurped by your child. The look I assume that all dads get when their child usurps them and does better than them at something. And I think he stopped playing. I don't think he ever beat it on his own that I know of. I think he kind of gave up after that because, I mean, the final fight in that game is so wonky, and the N64 is kind of a bit buggy. So it was, yeah, it was just so funny to see him do that. And like, between that and another one that I really was good at, that, you know, flexing here on the NES was Mega Man 3. Because it was just like, you know, same thing. It had codes as continues in case you know, died, whatever. But they would work occasionally. Sometimes they'd work, but they'd only give you like half your items. It was a wonky system at best, right? And again, I remember like sitting there and everyone had to, you know, it was silence. It was like you were in church, right? You had to be so quiet because we were coming up on the final boss, and it was so, you know, like those were the moments that stuck with you. And I feel like people who watch Twitch are people who have had these moments, you know? People who have had a gaming, you know, moment that's kind of changed their outlook on life. Because I think if we didn't do that, if we didn't make that part of like our weekend routine, I don't know. It could be argued that maybe I wouldn't be much of a gamer, you know? But just because it was like a family thing, I just dove headfirst into it. And as much as I try, I just can't get out. It's like quicksand. It just pulls me right in. Stop resisting, you know? Anyway, there's another fun story for you guys. Talking to the future, talking to the people who watch my VODs. There's a story for you. whoever you guys are that watch the VODs, I appreciate it. Like, know that I am shocked and in awe. You know, I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. I do. Even if you skip to the end, even if, you know, there's the one VOD I did where I lost to the dragon in RuneScape here. If you just skipped to the end where you skipped all the grinding and just watched me die humiliated, I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't blame you. I would not blame you at all. I tried to find like proper like I look for the images to put up for the thumbnails, but Twitch only gives you like 3 choices, you know? And if I tried to clip like an image of the fight to make the thumbnail, and it was like, no, that's too big. How about this image of you stuck behind the barbarian village fence? Would you like that? We can use that. And I was like, well, I don't have a choice, do I? The illusion of choice, you know? So the thumbnails all kind of look stupid, but it's one of those things that I'm sure will get better as I go, you know? I do plan on getting like a full streamer setup once I get going here with it. I think that'll be interesting. And I will say, because I haven't said this stream, and I've got to say it, and don't hate me for saying it, I just think it's, if you're going to full send it, right? So, if you're watching the VOD, if you're in the future, which sounds fun, tell me about it. I have attached now a YouTube to my Twitch channel. So if you're watching the VOD, or want to watch a video on YouTube, head on over there. It's like a really old video of me playing Dead by Daylight, Escape Simulator, RuneScape, Fortnite, and Everhood right now. So kind of a mix of everything. But feel free to head over there. The one video I have of Escape Simulator is just pathetic. It's just pathetic. It's me and a couple of friends, and my one friend, you can tell he's just getting super frustrated. He's very hot-tempered. He's very, you got that friend who kind of, it's their way or the highway. And you can tell, it's funny, I like watching that VOD because you can tell that he gets quiet and then he gets like really mad. And I'm kind of here for the, I'm here for the fun of it, right? But he just like explodes that, you're not doing the puzzle properly and you're not solving it the way you should be solved. Like, dude, just enjoy the ride, all right? Like, who else has those friends? They're just kind of like, they like to be, I guess, not in control, but in control, We're going to do the coal because the other guy is in here. So we're taking the coal. Now we're moving on because it takes a while to respawn. Yeah, I've got... Yeah, in the friend group, you got the people who are just like, I will make this happen, for better or worse. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're great, right? They're going to make the trip happen. They're going to make the event happen, and it's going to be fun. But also, then they take that control into other areas when they don't really need to. And you've got to be like, calm down. We're playing Monopoly, Or calm down. This is Uno. Right? You kind of remind them. Just a gentle reminder that the stakes are not life or death in this situation, right? I feel like we all have those friends. Yeah, we do Escape Simulator sometimes, and I managed to solve a puzzle, and then he asked for an explanation, and I wasn't like, I was already moving on, and I was like, whatever, we don't have time, right? We don't have time for an explanation. And he full on just DC'd from the from the thing. He just DC'd from Discord. He DC'd from the game. He was just like, nah, you're not giving me an explanation, then you don't get my help at all. End of story. Ugh, okay, got it. I'm not gonna fight over that coal. That guy can have it. I can't even make steel yet, so steel would take 1 iron and 1 coal, but since I can't make steel anything yet, I'm not gonna bother fighting for the coal. I hope you guys are enjoying my version of Minecraft. That's kind of what this has turned into. That's the thing. When I boot up the stream, I should probably have some kind of clue, game plan on what I'm doing. Like, when I did it earlier, it was I was going to kill a dragon. I thought that would take me. I honestly did not think I'd do it on the first try. I thought that I'd die, be upset, have to do it more times, right? I thought that would take me like 2 or 3 to get through. So to do it right away, I was I was like, well, now what, you know? And to be honest, I don't really like streaming Fortnite. Partly because there's a lot of people already doing it, and I'm just, I guess I'd play, like, I do enjoy playing it, but that's not kind of, I don't know, like, I'm not talking when I'm playing it, and you guys are here for the sparkling commentary, right? That's one thing, among others. That's another thing that I've never really understood is people who just kind of like rage at video games. Just like, and you see it all over the place, right? You see it that people have like thrown their controller through the TV or whatever, right? They smash their keyboard on till the keys pop out, you know, like. And I've never felt that way. I've never been like, hey, you know, fuck this, fuck you. Like, I've never. I don't know. I wonder how that feels sometimes. to like. Because you gotta pick your hills to die on. It's kind of something that I believe, right? You pick your hills, and there are hills worth dying on, and there are hills not worth dying on. And getting pissed in an online video game because someone, you know, shot you or whatever, right? Hit you with a shovel, whatever, right? Is not. It's not something in a video game, not even real life. If you got hit with a shovel in real life, sure, then we could say that's warranted. If someone came up behind you in real life and, you know, just clapped you with a shovel, sure, then I would be upset. I would say you have every right to be upset. Someone does it in a video game, okay, don't, you could say, you know, stop it, right? You could not play with that person. But when I see these things about people who just like whip their remote through the screen, that's weird. Or maybe I'm the weird one, but that's something that is, I don't know. I think there's like different types of gamers, and there are definitely different types of games for those gamers. Like, this is not a high adrenaline, high stakes, you know. This is super chill. This is the most chill game. If you want super adrenaline pumping, high stakes stuff, there's like Counter-Strike, right? And that's where you're gonna find the people who are like swearing and cussing and like, don't get me wrong, I swear and cuss with the best of them too. But I mean, there's nothing in this game that would make me do that. There's nothing in Counter-Strike that would make me do that. I think there's like a blurring of the lines, I guess, where people are putting too much of themselves into the game. I don't know. Or maybe they care too much about their ranking, which could be a thing. Like, You see the same thing in people who like they're really big about getting their ranking up for like Rust or Fortnite or any of those games that have ranked, right? And they'll like use cheats and stuff, or else just, you know, whatever to get their ranking up, right? And that's great and fantastic. Good for you for showing off your skill, right? Like, good on you. But if there's someone better than you, like, that's not terrible, you know, that's not terrible. If there's someone better than you, that legitimately means you are not the best person in the world at that game. And for a game, I'm referencing it because I just played it a bunch, you know, Fortnite. How many people play that game? Okay. For you to be the best in the world at that game, you might as well win the lottery, right? It's not impossible, but is it really something you want to break your TV, computer, everything over? You know, does it really mean that much to you? Like, those V-Bucks really matter so much? And I don't know, it's just my take, because I've seen a bunch of these people that like get caught cheating, and then it's like, oh man, oh, level 35. Members can now mine sandstone. All this stuff is now members, hey? So it's kind of like, it's starting, mining still is a way to go before it's, you know, fully members only, but there you just see, you can see how much content there is in members versus free to play, because it seems like every level there's something for members, and it's only like every 5 levels where there's something for free to play. Yeah, I'll probably be getting members for this. I might do Jedi Academy first and then swap back to this with members. Just a thought, just a thought. If you guys are Star Wars fans, Jedi Academy is, it's so good. It's so good. For a game that, you know, is long in the tooth, it's really well done. But yeah, coming back to it, if you found me like a solid friend group that plays social deduction games like Among Us, oh hey, level 19. I can make iron short swords, and members can do all kinds of things because they're members. Coming back to it, yeah. If there was a way to contact, I'm not gonna name names but some of my favorite streamers, they you know, they play Among Us and stuff together, and I get it. I get it. I sit here and I'm kind of like, man, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, wouldn't it be cool to have a group of people to play these games with, to just enjoy the day with, right? Like, whether it's for a couple hours or what, you know, it's a group of people who seem to, unless they're all, you know, A-list fakers, they seem to enjoy each other's company, right? They seem to enjoy, and I think I'm not alone in saying, like, that is something that I would like in my life, right? it would be very cool. It would be very cool. Honestly, like, if it didn't come off as weird or kind of like you're only doing this because, you know, we're big names, I'd be like, hey, let's go play Among Us. Let's go play, hey, let's go play Mario Party. Let's go play Lethal Company. You know? I don't, you know, I don't care that you're big names. I don't, right? Maybe that just seems, maybe that's dreaming too big. But if ever there was a reason to start streaming, why not to make gaming friends, right? Because I kind of get the vibe that people who just see streaming or hear about it and they're like, oh, that's a quick, easy buck, are not the people who stick it out, you know? They don't try to grow. I've got to be careful how I say this because I don't want it to seem weird, but like, they don't try to grow their base. They don't try and develop anything because they think it's an instant like cash cow, right? Whereas people who are into gaming are more about developing it because developing it will in turn put them in contact with other gamers, right? Excuse me. Like, you see these streamers and you're like, well, how would I ever, you know, get in contact with them, right? But then you know, what I've seen is that they notice each other. You think that people aren't watching, right? But they go in and they look at each other's streams and they, you know, that's how they find new people to stream with. And I mean, if you're not at least trying a little bit, then you're not really making yourself look like someone worth hanging out with, you know? Like right now, I don't have the greatest setup and stuff, but I got the basics where I can say like, hey, you know, I post on Twitter. I've got a YouTube. I actually took the like half an hour it takes to set it up, and you know, I've even got little DaVinci here to hang out with. And honestly, it's so that, you know, maybe I meet some cool people to play games with. It's 80% that, 20% just playing games I like. And that 20% is because I do it anyway. So it's a big 20%. So it's more like, I'm going to do this anyway, I might as well add to it and see if anyone notices me so I can have people to play games with. You know? I'm gonna play the games anyway. It's irrelevant. And to the people that commented on my YouTube video about me playing RuneScape, I appreciate it because it's a classic to me. It's nostalgia. It's great. I love it. I don't know if there'll ever be another game like it for me. Yeah, the Game Awards were a big deal today. I saw a lot of people streaming the Game Awards. I did not watch the Game Awards, but I've heard a bunch of things about them, right? Wow, I am burning this ore. I just don't... There we go. I just don't care. Sorry, guys. I feel like I go off on these tangents that, you know, they've got literally nothing to do with RuneScape. they're just me talking about anything. I apologize. I do apologize. But I am getting this smithing done. Look at how little iron I am actually able to make with this run. Hot diggity. My guy cannot make iron. Wow. Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter at this point, does it? I'd still be disappointed. You get them all done, I'd still be disappointing you. Little me. Yeah, this is, I guess, fantasy Sims is what I'd categorize this game as, you know? You do what you want, you kind of are the character, right? In the members world, you actually can make a house, buy a house and decorate it and be very fancy and posh. Even this glider thing is a members thing. They know how to entice you. They know how to be like, hey, wanna know more about this? Here's how. Just click this little pay now button. Which I've definitely done. And it was worth it. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. This is like, ignore the graphics, ignore the age of it. This is one of the best open world sandbox games to date. To date. Like, hold on. Can you guys see the world if I open up the world map? Hang on. Yes. Okay, perfect. Look at how big this place is. There is so much to do. Right? It's wild. And this was a game, I don't even know what this big black spot is. And this was a game that, you know, originated 20 years ago. And this tiny bit is the only free-to-play area. This tiny middle part, right? So you have full other continents you don't even know about until you get members. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Oh, what'd I buy? What'd I get? Open clue geode. Hey, it's got a clue scroll. It's a beginner clue scroll. I don't care. Yeah, that... So there's, it's called the Lunar Isle. And if you go to the Lunar Isle, which is a members-only isle, you can actually, like... And I forget how, but there's a way to adjust your magic. I think it's your magic and your prayer, or maybe just your magic, where all your spells are different, and suddenly they do different things. Right down to, like, your teleporting spells. Don't teleport you to cities anymore. Instead, they teleport you to, like, fairy circles that are randomly laid out throughout the land. You know, it's super weird. But I guess if you know how to capitalize on that, it's good. But if you think about like the growth dynamic here, it's huge. The ability to play this how you want is huge, right? They got different dyes for your capes and stuff. Like, there's no... I feel like I've seen current gen games that are far less personalized than this, you know? And they do a good job being like, you know what, you're just a hero. You're not specifically some, you know, the story is kind of vague because you're not a specific character. You're a random hero who just happens to be up and coming in this realm, you know? Which works. It works. I mean, there might be some story in the members world, but I don't think so. I think it just all progresses off of, you know what, you were a dude or girl, you know, just playing your life out, and, you know, that's all it is. If you want to help out with this problem that this kingdom's having, then suddenly you're in it. You're in it, you know? And... It's not like you're Peter Parker, great power. No, you're just some rando who just decides to help out the place they're living, which is almost better. And also could, you know, it feeds into sandbox, so you want to spend, you know, hours doing your smelting. That's fine, because you're a rando. You don't have like a touch of destiny. You're just a dude. It's great, you know? There's no pressure on you. You don't want to help them out with their, like, saving their princess? You don't have to. Someone else will, you know? It happens a lot. There we go. Now I'm getting more than half my inventory. Fantastic. Watch, I'll say that, now none of them are going to go. I'm like one away. One away. Come on, one more. One more. One more. Ugh. There we go. Level 20. I can now smelt silver and make iron scimitars, and members can make iron arrowheads, iron spears, and iron heste. Alright, well, to my VOD watchers in the future, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings again. If you did enjoy my ramblings, maybe tell me tell me what part you enjoyed, because I'm curious. Now I'm all like thrown and I'm not sure what the hell is going on. Um, but tell me what you liked. If there's some topic that I touched on in this or other streams that you like were like, wow, he really knows what he's talking about, or I want to hear more of his opinion on it. Like, tell me, because I'm so curious. Like, what? I'm so curious. So if you're watching my VOD, and even if you just want to say like hi, if you like RuneScape, you know, I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, no pressure. No pressure. I want everyone to just enjoy themselves. If I was your background noise for a couple hours, then that's good, you know? But yeah, regardless, I hope everyone has a good week. And I'll probably be back on tomorrow. Circumstances pending. And maybe we'll do some Jedi Academy. Hey. Alright. Alright. Have a good night, day, wherever you guys are. Bye.